Here we have the new 2025 Honda Prologue. This one comes in the Elite trim level with all-wheel drive in Raven Black. We have black leather interior. We have an electric motor on each axle and then an 85 kilowatt hour battery. So many similarities to the Chevy Blazer, which Chevy and Honda teamed up on with this particular vehicle. Front end here, we do get our LED headlamps, LED daytime running lights, and LED fog lights. And I actually do like the overall looks of the Prologue better than the Blazer, but down here, these are gonna be 21-inch alloy wheels. Really like that design. And then your charge door is right here. So you get that little push pin, so you can DC fast charge if you need to. Passive keyless entry on all 4 doors, and it's just crazy how everything that's in this vehicle reminds me of the Blazer. Even that chime there comes from the Blazer EV. These buttons here for your memory seat power door lock controls, that comes from GM. You get one-touch up and down windows for the front, just express down for the back, and then we have our power mirror controls, and we can also power fold them as well. And you do get blind spot monitors there. Even this liftgate button comes from the Blazer EV, so tons of similarities here. Pretty much everything that you look at is going to be just like in the Blazer EV. Now we do get a manual tilt telescoping steering wheel here. And then here's our power driver's seat with 2-way power lumbar support. Now I do like the colors here. I love how this was done, that 2-tone interior. But I want to give a huge thanks to Darrell Waltrip Honda here in Franklin, Tennessee for allowing me to review this Prologue today. I'll leave a link below in the description. But if you're looking to find the best price on one of these closer to home, click on that second link down below. It takes just a minute to fill out your information. I'll make sure the local dealers are fighting to get you the best price on this or whatever new vehicle you might be interested in. But 283 miles on a charge. And back here, one of the best things about the Blazer EV, and again, this Prologue here, is the space you get back here. So having the seat up front adjusted for someone of my size, being 6'3" with longer legs, sitting back behind myself, knees are barely brushing the back of the seat, but so much space back here, even between the seat and the door panel here, I can fit my whole leg in that area, which usually doesn't happen in many vehicles. The seat back pockets on both sides. Rear AC vents, 2 USB-C ports, 3-prong household plug-in. Then bottle holders are there. And that's a look at the sunshade when it's all the way up. Let's make our way towards the back. Nice back end there, LED tail lamps. And yeah, just, I don't know what it is. Maybe I've seen too many Blazer EVs, but I really just like the way the Prologue looks compared to the Blazer EV. Just the, you know, from the exterior. But great space back here. Top tethers for the car seats are on the back of the seats themselves, excuse me. And plenty of storage space there. And then your 12 volts hidden right there if you want to run an inverter or something like that. Now to the rear passenger side. If you ever want to fold the seat down, all you have to do is just pull right here. That'll fold flat to run longer objects through to the front, and then just pop it back into place to put it back. And then you have your lower latch anchors for the car seats underneath there. Manual child lock, so lock, unlock there. And then to the front passenger seat, you get power, but no lumbar support here. Nice little storage compartment underneath. And I think that's actually locked. So a lockable glove compartment there. And then as you come back around to the front, there's a front motor and all that attached in there. Apologize for the wind noise. We're gonna hop in the vehicle to kind of deter that. Now it's just from the air conditioning, but leather wrapped steering wheel here feels very nice. You can also heat that there. We do get a Bose sound system. You can see the emblems there and the tweeters. But to the screen, I believe this is an 11-inch screen, and the only difference that you see compared to the Blazer EVs from an interior standpoint is the actual setup here. The buttons and all that look the same. The push button start, the shifter, which we'll get to in a minute. But the actual, I guess, setup itself is different. So this looks more like a Honda here. Maybe it's just the colors, I don't know. But you do get that Google Assistant system. For the audio, you can go in here, AM, FM, XM, Bluetooth. And then you also have your Apple CarPlay, Android Auto compatibility here. At least I think you do. So GM tried to take that out of many vehicles, so still in this one. Rear seat reminder, teen driver, buckle to drive. It even has the same freaking names for everything in here. So it was just a weird collaboration here. So if you've seen my Blazer EV reviews, pretty much everything's the same here. You can toggle the fog lights in this setting here, the auto high beams, and then your lights are right in there. So your lights are always going to be in the screen, so you have to go there to do that. There's a little shortcut, or you can go to the settings like I just did and walk through all of that. Backup cameras there, guidelines follow you to turn the steering wheel. Here's your front camera. A few other views as well, curbside views, top-down view. And down here we have our dual zone automatic climate controls. We get 3-stage heated cooled seats in this one, which is nice. Fan speed can be adjusted there, fan direction, cut the whole system on or off there. 12 volt. You have bottle holders there, wireless charging pad, center console cubby space, removable tray. You can move it from this here, or you can move it back here. So we'll leave that right back where it was. And there's a sunroof. We're gonna go ahead, we can tilt or slide it, but I'm gonna one-touch slide. And that's how far back it goes. And then you can hit it a second time, it actually goes behind the glass. So nice big opening there. There's a look at the back seat from up here. If you ever need your hazards, that's where they are. And your sunroof controls and all that there, lights. Vanity mirror. Now to the steering wheel. Blinkers are here. You have your intermittent wipers, your rear wipers, and then pull either way for the rear wiper fluid, push on the side here for the front wiper fluid. And for the shifter, grab the lever, pull for neutral, pull and up for reverse, pull and down for drive, press this for park. And then behind on the right side, volume down, volume up there. And then trackless radio station presets can be adjusted right there. And then hit this tab here to toggle the regenerative braking while you're driving. Now we do get the adaptive cruise, we can toggle there. Cancel, set the speed, gap adjust here. And then you get your heated steering wheel toggle. We can change the views of the gauge cluster by doing that. And then you can go through your audio sources there, voice recognition, and then mute and Bluetooth button there when your phone's hooked up. And then the heads-up display is right there in front of me. Push button start. Finally, here is our key fob with remote start, which looks just like a GM key fob. But with all that being said, let's go ahead and take this 2025 Prologue Elite out on the road for a test drive. So starting the test drive in this Honda Prologue here, like I said in the walk around portion, a lot of similarities with this compared to the Blazer EV, even with how this drives. As you would expect, being on the same platform and so many similarities. But I just like the feel behind this a little bit better. I don't know what it is, but this just feels, I think mostly has to do with the exterior looks, but this just feels more modern and it feels more luxurious, I guess. Now, I haven't driven the SS Blazer yet, but I've driven quite a few Blazer EVs, and this Prologue Elite just feels very premium compared to some of the lower trim Blazer EVs that I've driven. Now, the space in this is to be compared to the Blazer EV as well, and from the driver's seat, it's very comfortable, it's very spacious, very roomy in here. And I like how, where there's not a traditional shifter, or even a traditional center console here, you have a lot of space for your legs. So mine is pretty much leaned all the way to one side on the right, and then I even have space on the left side here too. Now, I have it in sport mode, and one thing that is not as impressive, and maybe it's because I drove a Charger Daytona Stage 2 and a Wagoneer S this morning, but in sport mode, this is not as quick as I would like. Now, I wouldn't say it's slow, but again, it's not as quick as I would have liked it. Now, with that being said, it certainly has power when you need it. But it's not as powerful as the new Wagoneer S that has 600 horsepower. So it's obviously going to lack against some of the stronger competition from Tesla and things of that nature. But that's not what this is for. This is for someone who wants a pretty much average price EV. Unfortunately, $60,000 in average price EV, and they want something that has all the bells and whistles. Because you can certainly get a cheaper Prologue, get a cheaper Blazer EV, but this has everything: your heated, cooled seats, your sunroof, so on and so forth. But pretty much anything I've said about the several Blazer EVs I've reviewed, it's the same thing here. Again, it's quick for what it is, but it could be quicker. And where the Blazer EV is supposed to have an SS option, I'm wondering if the Prologue will get a beefed up version with more power. But we'll just have to see. Now, I do like, for an EV, a lot of the things that GM did here, and obviously that you get in the Honda Prologue here. So having the shifter on the column was a nice touch. Just the setup of the AC controls was nice. It's simple, but it still looks modern. And then just having the wireless charging pad here in the middle. It's just, there's a lot of space here, and there's a lot of, I think, nicely used space. So we're going to give it a pull getting on the interstate here in a moment. So we're going to slow it down. I think I'll be able to come to a stop here. No one's behind me. Here we go. So pretty good power. Now I want to give one more thanks to Darrell Waltrip Honda here in Franklin, Tennessee, for allowing me to review this car today. I'll leave a link below in the description. If you are looking to find the best price on one of these closer to home, click on that second link down below. It takes just a minute to fill out your information. I'll make sure the local dealers are fighting to get you the best price on this or whatever new vehicle you might be interested in. But all in all, again, I like the Prologue. I like how, I guess, just all that you get with this Elite. It's pretty much, again, a Blazer EV. They kind of joined forces, GM and Honda did on that. But this is just a very nice looking vehicle. Good power, just good overall everything. The only thing is the price is a bit steep, but for what you get, it's about average. And with all that being said, this will bring me to the end of my review of this 2025 Honda Prologue Elite.